This video is a quick review over naming binary compounds with polyatomic ions. So these would still be ionic because they will be a metal and a nonmetal, but this time when you look at a formula, you will have more than two elements. So if you have more than two elements, one of them has to be a polyatomic ion. So again, you're going to use your periodic table of ions form. The box in the middle here contain your polyatomic ions. So that's where you're going to get the names for a few of them. All right, so if we have these formulas, again, you will have a word for the positive ion and a word for the negative ion. So Al, we know, is our first ion, so that is aluminum, which means BrO3, that whole second part, has to be the second name. So then up here, you would look for BrO3. So BrO3 is bromate, so this compound would be aluminum bromate. The next one, CaIO3 Ca we know is calcium, so that would be the positive ion. IO3 is going to be the negative ion, which if you look in the top is iodate. Where is it? Here it is in the middle. So this one would be calcium iodate. The third one, K2SO4, K is potassium for the positive ion. SO4, again, is going to be a polyatomic ion. SO4 is sulfate, so that would be potassium sulfate. The next two, just like previous examples, copper and iron have more than one charge. So you, again, have to work backwards to figure out what the charge of copper and iron would be. So if you look at the negative ion for this example, the negative ion is NO3. So if you look in your polyatomic ion chart, NO3 is nitrate, and that has a -1 charge, which means copper has to be +1 because we just have one copper and one nitrate. So remember, the +1 is the number that will go into the name as a Roman numeral. So that next one would be copper 1 nitrate. All right, so if we look at the last one, iron, again, has more than one charge, so we have to figure out what that charge would be. So we have to look at the negative ion. So CrO4, if we look up here, CrO4 is chromate. Chromate has a -2 charge. We have 3 chromates. So if we have -2, -2, -2, our total negative charge is going to be -6, which means these 2 iron atoms have to, add up to +6. So these 2 have to add up to +6, which means that each iron would have to be +3. So that +3, or the 3, is what we are going to add into the name as a Roman numeral. So the last one would be iron 3. Iron 3 chromate.